In this video, I'm going to be discussing why you absolutely need to be in tech sales right now, why you need to be trying your best right now to be in tech sales, and why you will regret it if you don't. So in this video, I'm basically going to discuss opportunity cost. It's probably a word you haven't heard much of since you were in like high school or maybe even middle school. And opportunity cost is essentially what you are giving up by either doing or not doing something. And a lot of people, if you are not pursuing tech sales right now, or if you're not pursuing it heavily, or if you're just trying every now and then, you are missing out and you are risking a lot of opportunity. So I'm going to discuss the few main reasons why, and we're just going to go ahead and dig into that. So the biggest opportunity cost that you're missing out on by not getting into tech sales right now is your money. Whatever amount you are making right now, if you're not making at least $75,000 a year at this exact moment, then you are losing money every single month that you are not in tech sales. Why do I say that? It's very simple. In tech sales, as a business development rep, you're going to see an entry position being about $75,000, sometimes a little less. It can go down to about $70,000, but usually it's even more than that. My very first year in tech sales, I made over $100,000. But we're gonna go baseline $75,000 is what you can make if you get a tech sales or a remote tech sales job. If you are making $50,000 right now, which is average, is what most people make. If you're making $50,000 at the job that you're at right now, by not being in tech sales, you are effectively losing $25,000 every single year. So if you go 2 years and you're not in tech sales and you're still making about $50,000, you just lost $50,000. 4 years, $100,000, and it compounds. Now, here's the thing. You're actually exponentially losing out on money because in tech sales, you have the opportunity to get promoted and make more money quicker than you can in any other field. So it's almost a guarantee when you get into tech sales, your earning exponentially will jump up more than your standard 3 to 5% raise at other jobs. So you're losing out on a ton of money, but you're also losing out on time because of that money. I'm someone who always believes I want to make as much money as I can because I want to have an effective life. I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it, whether that's right now, in 5 years from now, or in 10 years from now. So think about this. Last month in my tech sales job, I made $18,500. It was $18,500 and some change. I actually will have a link at the end of this video to a video that I made proving exactly how much I make and sharing my pay stubs. So if you don't believe me, stay until the end, watch that video. I made about $18,000. For the average person who is making $40,000, $50,000, let's say you're making $50,000, that would mean over the course of a year, that would mean you're making a little bit more than $4,000 every single month. So for you to work and to make what I made last month, which was $18,000, for you to make that much money, you will effectively have to work about 4 to 5 months, about 4.5 months for your $50,000 salary to pay you $18,000. Now, I don't say that to brag at all. I don't say that to say, look at how much money Jacob makes. It's actually the complete opposite. What I'm trying to show you is by handcuffing yourself to how much money you're able to make, you are losing out on time. It will take you 4.5 months of work to equal what is 1 month of work in my tech sales position, for example. Do I make $18,000 every single month? No, sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes it's a little bit less. It's sales, so it can go up and down a little bit. But the standard still shows, let's say I only made $8,000 last month, and it was a really, really, really bad month. I don't remember the last month I made that, $8,000. But let's say I made $8,000. It is still taking you, as a $50,000 a year earner, it is still taking you 2 months to work to equivalent yourself with or equal 1 month of tech sales work that I'm bringing in. So essentially, I'm saving 1 month for every other month that you're working. That's the kind of something that's eerie to think about. I mean, think about it. Let's say you make $50,000 a year. Somebody else makes $200,000 a year. Their 1 year of work is going to be equal to you working and spending 4 years of your life. That's how much more money than they are making. So you absolutely are losing out on money, but most importantly on time, which is what you absolutely can't get back by not jumping into tech sales. Most positions you are absolutely handcuffed. You cannot make more money. No matter how hard you work, you cannot make more, or it's very marginal, very tiny amount of extra money you can make. Versus in tech sales, if I want to make an extra $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 this month, all I have to do is work harder. All I have to do is find more prospects. All I have to do is send more emails or do more cold calling. And I can, for the most part, control exactly how much money I make. That is what's so good about the business development rep position. In tech sales, the entry-level position is you get paid just for setting meetings. Now, once you move into an account executive position, yes, you are going to be making more money, but it's a little bit tougher. Like, you can do everything right, and then at the end of the day, the company might not move forward with you, and you're not in complete control of that. But for the most part, as a sales development or business development rep, you completely control how much money you make. So if I want to work harder, let's say I have an unexpected bill that comes up, or let's say I see a new vehicle that I really want, or there's a new vacation that I really want to go on, or I want to move to a different house or a different apartment or whatever that may be. If I want to do that, and if you want to do that, when you're in tech sales, you have the ability to supplement that income because all you have to do is call more people, is send more emails, is find more people to reach out to, and it is not very hard to do at all. Most people in tech sales, if you're working as hard as you can, you're putting in a true 6 to 8 hours of work a day, you're going to far exceed your quota. You're going to make a lot more money. So at the end of the day, working in tech sales gives you the opportunity that very few other jobs give you, which is you control exactly how much you make. If you want to make more money, you can. If you want to exponentially grow your income, you absolutely can do that. Now, that's one part of time, right? Knowing, hey, 1 month of work that so-and-so is doing, that's equal to 4 months of work that I'm doing. They're lapping me in life almost. It's almost eerie to think that way, and you don't need to let that consume you because there's always going to be someone making more money. If I make $300K a year, but somebody makes $900K a year, they're lapping me by like 66%. And that's tough to think about. You don't need to let it consume you, but you do need to let it motivate you to a point to where you need to realize, hey, I need to absolutely take control of how much money I'm earning. I need to absolutely take control of my future. I need to leave this dead-end job I've been working at for forever, and I haven't even gotten $10,000 worth of raise, $5,000 worth of raise. In tech sales, if you want to make an extra $5,000, sometimes $10,000 a month over your quota, you can do that. Is it easy? No, but you can do it. You can be your own boss to an extent and create your own raise because you get paid extra for hitting your quota. So that's one version of time, right? Knowing, hey, so-and-so, they work the same amount as I do, but they're making 2 to 3 times more. They're getting paid exponentially more for their time. That's the first thing. The second thing is time is against you. By you not jumping into tech sales now, guess what happens? Let's say you jump in 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Instead of you making 200K at that point, 150K at that point, 250K at that point, and you being tenured and growing and making more and more money a couple of years from now, you're starting at your 75K, your 80K, your 70K. You're starting there. If you can get ahead of the curve as quickly as you can and know, tech sales has like an amazing career trajectory. As long as you're in it, you're gonna make a lot of money. I'll never forget when I at the company I work at now, when I first got hired, I met with a whole bunch of people at the company. I just wanted to get to know them better. And one of them, he told me this. He said, I will tell you this, Jacob, if you just stay at this company and if you just work, like if you just do what you're supposed to do, you're going to be rich. Everyone here makes like a ton of money. It's just a matter of life. And then within like a month, he bought his first house. He was so excited. And I was like, that's actually so true. He had been there a few years before I had. And at the time, he was making a lot more money than me because he had just been there a lot longer. And that's just so true. Anyone that is in tech sales, if you were in sales for in a software or a tech world, if you're in sales for multiple years and you just don't quit and you're actually working, it's almost impossible not to get rich. Like, everybody needs to get promoted. There are promotions that happen almost on a monthly basis, at least a quarterly basis, at basically every tech company. If you stay working, you're going to get a $10,000, a $15,000, a $20,000, a $30,000 pay raise every single year. And so by you not working now to get your tech sales job and you pushing it off a year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, you're then just starting at ground zero when you could already be at 200K a year, 150K, 250K a year. So time is definitely against you. You need to hop in right now. One, you're going to be making more money. Two, you're going to be doing something that actually satisfies you. And that brings in the point of just your mental health. Like, do you enjoy doing what you're doing now? If you do, if you genuinely enjoy what you're doing now, you feel like your bills are met. Maybe you're not making a ton of money, but you're happy with what you're making. Everything's okay. You're very happy with what you're doing. You don't need to rush into anything. Like, at the end of the day, if you go ahead and get into tech sales now, 5 years from now, you'll have probably a lot more money than you would otherwise. But on the flip side of that, if you're happy, you don't have to be doing that. If you're not happy or you're not making as much money as you need to be, why do you keep going back to that month after month, week after week? Why do you continue to live a life when you're in full control of it, but you're giving that control to a boss that you can't stand? You're going to a job that you absolutely can't stand. You have no fulfillment in. You're making no good money at all. Why are you doing that when you are in absolute and complete control of your time and of your life and of your money? Most of the time, what it comes down to is complacency. People think, well, it's a lot of work to apply to a whole bunch of jobs. It's a lot of work to get my resume done or to get a cover letter or to prepare for interviews. It's a lot of work. I'll tell you this, a lot of times not taking a risk is going to be your biggest risk. A lot of times not taking action is going to be the worst action that you can ever take. If you're happy with your life right now, no matter how much money you make, even if you make $20,000 a year, if you're genuinely happy and fulfilled, maybe you don't need to make a change. Maybe you're fine just like that. But if the bills are tough to come by now, if it's hard to pay them, or if you know you're worth a lot more than what you're getting paid, or you don't like your work environment, and you'd rather work from home, in your bed, in your computer, at your desk, at your dinner table, if you want to work where you want, when you want, you need to jump in. You need to be in tech sales. So I say all that to say, I absolutely love my job. I love what I do. I've loved what I've done for the past basically 2 years. I consider the turning point of my life when I joined tech sales, when I got into a tech sales position and I decided, hey, I'm actually going to do this no matter what it takes. I was making a lot of money at the time. I took a little bit of a pay cut to get into tech sales, but I saw the potential. I knew, hey, as long as I work, I'm going to make more money than I could ever fathom. I'll have more free time than I could ever fathom. I'll have a lot of job security. I'll genuinely be happy. And fortunately, it all came true. So I tell you that to say, if you want to be in tech sales, now's the time to do it. Go out, watch this channel. I've got videos everywhere showing you how to apply, what to say when you apply, all of those, where to find these jobs that are being posted. You can do it. If you want to fast track that, I'm going to put a link in the YouTube comments here. It's going to have a link to my course. It's like $247, but if you do the work, it's going to get you a job. It might take a month, it might take 2 weeks, it might take 2 months, but it will get you a job if you do the work. Almost everyone from getting in the program has gotten a job. Maybe it took some a little bit longer than others. Some are still on their way, but people get jobs from this. So if you need help, if you want to get into tech sales, you need to first of all take it seriously. I don't want you to buy anything from me if you're not going to take it seriously and devote your absolute all. But two, you got to decide, hey, now's the time to change my life. And if that's you, I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment below, and I want to hear from you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm going to have the link somewhere around here. It's going to show you exactly how much I made last month. Some people maybe don't believe me. I understand, but I'd love to show you. So thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon.